Good morning again, guys. Still Thursday, still pouring rain here, and fortunately, I haven't got any of the ice that all you guys west of me are getting, so I'm hoping that stays a little bit north. Not that I'm hoping you guys get it, but I'm hoping it stays away from me. However, you know what seat I'm sitting in, so you know what that means. Uh, Believe it or not, guys, this is the time where gardening starts getting into full force. And depending on your crops, February, believe it or not, depending on where you are too, is actually a pretty important month, especially for getting stuff started. Primarily your cold weather crops. Now, I know some of you guys up in Massachusetts have 2 feet of snow on the ground. Okay. But yes, this too shall end. You know that. So, what are some things that we can be doing at this point? And I'll give you what I started my day out with. Started with tearing up brown cardboard boxes. You know, all that stuff that you get from Amazon, from Walmart, from God knows wherever that comes in a brown cardboard box. And you just throw those boxes out in the dump, and you are throwing away a hugely valuable resource, because I'm betting most people probably didn't save a whole lot of chopped up leaves from the fall. And so what you're going to have come here in a couple of weeks, or maybe a month or so, 2 months, is lawn clippings. And we all know that fertilizer is going to be extremely short this year, or extremely expensive if you can find it. So composting is more important than ever. All right. Now, when you get all those grass clippings and everything like that, that's wonderful. You've got all the greens to put in your compost. You save your kitchen scraps. Great, that's more greens. And summertime always happens. Everybody's scrambling, going, "Where are my browns? Where are my browns?" Okay. Tear up all those cardboard boxes into, squares about yay big. You don't have to make them any smaller. And you're going to mix those in with your grass clippings, and it's going to make quick, good compost. So that's what I was doing this morning, tearing apart a bunch of cardboard boxes, and I've got a box full of torn up cardboard at this point. That's probably, a couple of square feet worth of torn up cardboard. Toilet paper tubes, paper towel tubes, gift wrap tubes, cardboard boxes, junk mail that's not plasticized. Anything like that is perfect for that. So that was where I started my day. Now, what do I need to do next? In my area, okay, and I'm zone 6B, brassicas, your cabbages, broccolis, Brussels sprouts, cauliflowers, that sort of stuff, goes into the ground the 1st of April. Okay, right about a month before our last frost. My last frost date here is supposed to be April 30th. Okay, so thereabouts. Now, hopefully, you have already planted your brassica seeds, and because that should have been done about mid-January. Here we are 3 weeks later, and it's time to pot up my brassicas. Okay, and I'm going to show you my cabbage here. This pan I've got here is my cabbages, and I've got some marigolds in there, so I'll try to show you this. Okay, so there we go. The marigolds are all the way in the back. Okay, so there's the cabbages. Okay, marigolds back here. This is all cabbage. I have 18 cells of cabbage here. Apparently I dropped a couple extra seeds because it looks like I've got 22, 23 cabbage plants in here, which is fine. I need 18 for this planting, but the fact I've got 20% more is great, because if any of this didn't germinate, then I had extras, or if any of these don't survive this transplant, I've got extras, or if any don't survive when I put them out in the garden, I've still got extras. Now, the other thing you're going to have, and I don't know if you can see this, there's a teeny tiny one right here, okay? Let's see which one's in the way. Here it is. See a teeny tiny one right there? Chances are that one's not going to do anything. So I'm not even going to worry about it. I will thin that one out. I mean, everything else has grown to about 2 inches here. We're just going to take that one and say, the hell with it. It's done. Okay. That being said. So Next step is I've had these in their seed trays, their little cells, and we'll see if I can pick this up here, and you'll probably see out the bottom, maybe. Yeah, you can see a little bit there. I'll put it in the black. They're big enough now that the roots are starting to come out the bottom. Okay, that tells you that these need to be up potted. And which way do I need to go? There we go. So, what do I want to do? I want to take these and I want to move them into, I'll show you this one here because it's empty. I'll move you up. Okay. I want to put them in 3 or 4 inch pots. Now, I've got a bunch of these left over from last couple of years where Mrs. P and I have bought impatiens to put in the garden or something like that. And so I save the pots. It's funny, we buy the plants and really what I really want is the pots because these are great, all the holes and everything. If you don't have these, red Solo cups work perfect, okay? Just put some holes in the bottom with the knife or whatever, give it good drainage, and you can use those. Those are a perfect size as well. So, there's always a way around it. Red Solo cups are good for something besides beer. Not that that's a problem. But how do I know the other way that it's ready to transplant? And let's again take a look at the plants. On each one of these cabbage, if you notice, I have 2 true leaves on them, okay? The first leaf that comes out is its germination leaf, okay? The second set of leaves are their true leaves. And so you'll see that the normal shape of the leaf comes out, and I really can't get too close because I'll never get the focus on here. But there's true leaves on each one of those. So once you've got 2 to 4 true leaves, you're going to go and you're going to transplant it into something like this. So I've got these. I filled them again with my homemade potting soil. If you guys haven't seen that video, y'all know it here. A, it's a hell of a lot better than the stuff you're going to buy in the store. And B, it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Okay. And it's very simple. It's basically peat moss, vermiculite, and a little bit of fertilizer. So all I'm going to do, and cabbages are real simple, I'm going to make a hole in the middle. And yes, I've got a tablecloth down here so I won't get in trouble. Okay. And I'm going to take one of my seedlings out. Let's get this whole thing out of here so I can do this. And again, you want to just, if you can see what I'm doing here, I'm squeezing the bottom so it comes out. And in this case, I'm going to try to get it, use a little bit of the spoon to help me here. There you go. Do not want to grab them by the stems, okay? They're very delicate. But as you can see on the bottom there, those are the roots. I want to plant this in the center of my pot at the same soil height it was before. Very simple. Now I have one transplanted seedling. What I'm going to do, I've got all of these, okay, your watering trays. And I forgot to mention this beforehand, but I'm going to tell you, notice how this is wet. Please, 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 if you're ever going to reuse anything from the year before, wash it out first, okay, with hot soapy water, dish soap, okay, and a couple of drops of bleach in the sink. You want to sterilize your pots, your trays, because if there's any disease, fungus, or whatever that's been in there, you do not want to transfer it to the next year's worth of plants. So let me do the rest of these real quick, and I will be back and I'll show you what I do next. Okay, so at this point, I now have 8 seedlings put into larger pots, like I said, 3-inch pots. Now, like I said before, I had 22, 23 in those 18 seed trays. You can separate the seedlings, guys, but what you want to do at this point is put 1 in each one of these pots, okay? You want to give it all the room to do it itself. Some of these had great root systems when I transplanted them. Some of them were smaller. Again, we'll see what survives. So I want to separate those where there were 2 in a cell and give them their own pot to grow so they're not competing for resources. So the next part of this is pretty simple. Cabbage, any brassicas. So cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, anything like that. They're all very heavy feeders, which means they need a lot of fertilizer, whatever would be, to grow healthy. They also like consistently moist soil, not wet, but consistently from this point forward, okay? Because now it's going to grow. Sure, I could go out and put these outside if the weather was nice and everything like that, and maybe they'll survive as little as it is. But I want to get good stocky plants so I can plant them, and I've got a much better chance of growing cabbage. So I need to fertilize them. But obviously the plants are very tender at this point, but you need to do something. So what you want to do, and no, this is not what you think it is, okay? What you want to do is get some balanced fertilizer, a 10-10-10, a triple 13, whatever it is, okay? And you want to dilute it. Now, what I had was some dry 10-10-10 that I've had for a couple of years, and I put it in my blender and I powdered it, okay, to make it more water soluble. So I get what looks like what you think it looks like. All right, but all I'm going to do is I'm going to bottom water these down in the pan. And see, now you can see there's my powdered fertilizer, okay? But the liquid is in there. And that's about a teaspoon of fertilizer in a quart of water. Now, literally, that's all I have to do. These are ready to go. Mind you, my soil was moist already. It wasn't wet or anything, but this is the stuff that I made a couple of weeks ago. So keep it in a container covered and everything that stays pretty moist. You know, you don't want wet soil, but you don't want dry soil. Dry potting mix is useless. It just sheds water. This stuff's moist, so it'll soak up all that fertilizer. Now, this all goes back under the grow lights, okay? And so you guys have an idea. You want to have it, the grow lights, like right about here, about an inch above it. The seedlings have already been under grow lights, and they even now are a little bit leggy because I might have had my light a little too high. But you don't want long, stringy plants. You need to have them tight and compact. That's what you're looking for. So these will now go back under the grow lights and sit there for the next 2 months. They'll get that little fertilizer, what I just did there, about every 2 weeks while they're growing. Same for any other brassicas. That's kind of how you want to do it. But there's your idea on how to do the first of your cold weather crops that will be going in the ground earlier than anything else you got. So cabbage and I believe my onions go in about the same time. Peas are in a little bit later. So, but your brassicas are the first ones to go. So there you go, guys. There is the basics on getting seeds going and getting your plants. That is going to be very important this year. Have a good afternoon. You know where to find me if something comes up that's worth telling you about. Have a good one. Pinball out.